Something you're not going to hear a lot is how Blame is very similar to John Carter, the movie that came out a few years ago. A movie that was inspirational to a lot of directors and screenwriters, and how mined a lot of the ideas in John Carter, the books, to put them into other various movies. So when we finally got the John Carter movie, we had seen a lot of the things before. It's still visually outstanding, it's still a good tale, but because none of the ideas felt new, it kind of fell away. It wasn't as good as you kind of hoped it was. Blame, I don't really know too much about it, but I know it's from a well-known manga that was ridiculously, popular. And it's basically about a dystopian future where a lot of AI had taken place. You don't really see this, you see the aftermath of it, and humans connected to it by their will. They had a gene that kind of connected to the machines, and they could get them to do things just by the will of wanting them to do it. And suddenly this kind of stopped working, and the machines started to see the humans as pests, something to be eradicated, and that's what they did. And there was no control, so these cities that had these strange machines, builders and things like that, started to go out of control and just go weird and wacky shapes, and all the humans who managed to survive formed villages and tribes and just tried to keep themselves alive, trying to keep themselves fed. And that's the idea behind Blame. It opens very quickly with this group of kids out hunting for food, searching through broken down buildings and ships, and just searching for anything that they possibly can when they're suddenly attacked. And this guy manages to come out of nowhere and just decimate these ravagers and save the kids. And what you have here is a kind of adventure film for the saviour of humanity, things that we've seen lots of times before. It is about this lone person who turns up, this lone warrior, gets integrated into this tribe. He's going on an adventure to find something, to find a cure, to find something that will allow the humans to take control of these robots again. And this tribe decides to follow him because he seems to know something. He seems to be able to do more than the typical human who just kind of stumble across, if any. He has more knowledge about the past worlds. And they start to find out various things and go on these adventures to stop these robots. I'm trying to keep it a little bit hidden from you, the plot, because I think it is visually very stylistic, and it is definitely something that is worth checking out. This was a Netflix original movie. It's also coming out from Manga UK, and I think this is a stunning presentation of this movie. Like I said, I feel as if it follows too many tropes that I've seen elsewhere, and if I hadn't seen those things, this would have been a magnificent movie, because it is very stylish. The camera work, the CG drawings are tremendous to look at. It is very visual, and it has a distinctive visual style, and one that drew me in. And I did like the story, although you could kind of see what was coming because you had seen it elsewhere in other movies. It doesn't really lessen the impact too much here, but it does feel a little bit familiar in these storytelling elements. The sound design on this thing as well is unbelievable. I was watching this with a pair of headphones on, and it just blew me away. Just the sheer ferocity of the action scenes, particularly opening set piece, where it just kicks into action straight away. Almost had to take the headphones off because the sound was just too overpowering. Turned it on a little bit, and it was just masterfully done. If you get a chance, you should really check it out with a fantastic stereo setting if you can. Blame looks terrific. It's a good adventure story. Yes, it does feel like something very familiar. It feels like several things very familiar, but I do think it was an interesting world, interesting characters, and an interesting tale. If you like science fiction, if you like dystopian futures, this has everything you could possibly want. It has humanity almost at extinction. It has that lone hero. It has a glimmer of hope. It has the odds stacked against them. It's got some deaths of major characters that you wouldn't expect to die. And yeah, now I'm thinking about it, I actually like this more than I did when it initially finished. It's grew on me. It's something that I will definitely go back to again, especially on this Blu Ray disc, because it is fantastic. It is one of the best transfers I have seen in the longest while. Just so crisp and colourful. And I would highly recommend picking up if you're into these kind of movies. Blame for me gets 3.5 out of 5. And I've got a funny feeling when I go back and watch this, it may creep up a little bit more than that. I'd love to know what you thought of the movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.